Hello, welcome back. Uh, Lots of summoning messages. Also got some research done. Let's see. We're up to Alteration 6, which does give us Army of Fog, which is great. So all of our S1 mages can do an AoE 18 Mist form now, which is really nice. I am going to go up Thaumaturgy next for a bit. There's a couple of spells in here. I'm just going to really go for, where is it? Knowledge of the Birds. This is Akashic Knowledge. You can cast that pretty easily. Greater Shatter might come in useful, I suppose. Oh, it's range 3. Damn. Because you know that Atlantis has a lot of golem thugs. So maybe. I'm not sure if we will go all the way to 7. It's currently plugged in, but maybe we should just switch to Evo next. I don't know, maybe it's nice to have. Evocation 8 would give us Maelstrom, which is something. And there's also some more. If we get all the way to 9, there's Greater Flame Cloud, which is a 10% cast time, which would be very funny. We could lay down a lot of those on the battlefield before it even starts. So maybe we'll start walking towards that as well. I don't know. Did lots of spells, did a bit of manual summoning, but didn't find anything. Captured a couple of blood slaves. Not quite as many as I would have liked. Also spied a battle between Omar and just cleaning up Lost some commanders though, funnily enough. And events then, we got a couple of gems and some heat in Quattle Swamp. Which is Cops, lost 5 defense. Swamp of Forgetting, we got a huge treasure, bunch of gems and a Herald Lance. And 4 gems in Trollland. Worldwide event, alterations are still cheaper. Lost another scout trying to scout Pan. Got a bunch more diseases. And killed some brigands. You can see from the arrows, we're going to march into Pan this turn. See how that works out. Just want to check the diseases first. Let's see. So a couple of Vinemen have been diseased. Are they picking up afflictions? It's very difficult to get exactly. Not yet. I don't know, maybe they're affliction immune. It just seems so weird to me. I guess they are plants, right? And plants would get diseases. Yeah, alright. Whatever, anyway. We're still loading up the fort with disease healers, at least. None of our other mages have got diseased yet. Okay, so I'll go through really minor things first so that I don't forget them. Scouting currently looks like this. We've scouted over on this throne now as well. Looks scary. I've given the water lens that we made a while back to Igyad over here. He's going to cast Voice of Tiamat on Lake of Fortune. We'll do a bit of little site searching on that. We're forging a couple of items this turn as well. Definitely getting another water breathing ring. Some more sanguine dowsing rods. That's it. I think that's it for little bits and pieces. So the big stuff is really just attacking Pan, and I'm also going to try and defend this province a bit from Atlantis. It looks like we've got 2 stacks on our border now. We can see the golem here as well. I am wondering if Atlantis might be about to push into me. It wouldn't surprise me if Pan and Atlantis attacked me or something. Although Pan is currently still at war with Russ, who is making his way back into the game. Apparently, also, I've been calling this guy Jotunheim and it's not, it's Niflheim. Nifl's gone AI, I'm not sure what happened to him. I thought he was still competitive. Maybe Russ won some battle with him and it just screwed him, I don't know. But Nifl's gone and Russ seems to be getting back some of his territory. Seems to have a Pangaean fort under siege, so who knows what the hell's going on over in this part of the world. But we're going to attack into this section of Pan's territory. The primary goal is just the throne in God Coast. Don't really care about anything else. So we're just going to put a bunch of units in these provinces, storm God Coast, and then just fortify there for a while and see what happens. And then once that feels safe, we just march over towards this throne next. But the bulk of Pan's defenses are in this fort, and I'm not sure why. Maybe there's something special here. Or maybe it's just more central for him. It lets him move to a bunch of different places, I don't know. But God Coast is going to get the main army. We have quite a lot of units. They're all bunched up like this. It's weird trying to position stuff with these guys because all of the melee units fly. So usually you put your mages in amongst some troops. but all our troops are going to fly away, so you have to put them in amongst the archers. But you want to keep your melee units and your archers separate because you want to put different buffs on the archers than you want to put on the melee guys. So the compromise is everything is just kind of overlapped, so that the mages are kind of in the front of the archer block with some melee blocks arranged around them. And we're just going to lay down the same spells as we've usually seen. There aren't a huge amount of mages in this fight, but they're all my very powerful sultans. So we've got some Power of the Spheres into Fire Orbs and Pillars of Flame. Got a big Phoenix Power, which is AoE 15. That should buff up all of my mages nearby. And then Pillars of Flame. Got one guy laying down some Protective Force spells, AoE 4. To give some guys Protective Force. More Power of the Spheres into Orbs into Pillars. Vapor Warriors into Improved Flaming Arrows for the archers. And similar sort of stuff down here. We've also got a Bishop Fish on the way. I should rename this guy. Just doing Divine Blessing and then Smiting. That's how that looks. And that's the main army that's going to roll onto God Coast and probably storm immediately if it can. This fort looks kind of empty. We've only got a few like smaller armies that are just going to move into Bulwark and Ungbaeloth. These are just like slower troops and stuff. They're just moving up. They'll provide support next turn because they'll be able to meet up with another army. Some Forellies and Ungbaeloth. A couple more Astral Mages. So they're kind of like slower units coming up to help in a couple of turns. And then there's a slightly larger group heading onto this fort as well. This is a big fort, but there's not a lot of stuff patrolling that we've seen. It's usually just one mage and a couple of units. So maybe this will be fine. It's quite a lot of mages. They're going to lay down a bunch of buffs on each other. We've got Vapor Warriors, some Phantasmal Knight spam. We've got Divine Blessing and then some Smites. A bunch of Swarms. Got Flaming Arrows and some Greater Warp Armor. This guy's going to do a Phoenix Power on himself, which is AoE 15. Hopefully it hits the other Fire Mages as well, and that lets them cast some Pillars of Flame. More Pillars of Flame. A bunch of Flame Clouds. Hopefully these guys get hits, they get up to F2. This is a 50% cast time, AoE 6. Fire Cloud spell that has Curse of Stones attached to it. A bunch of those as well. We've got the two big guys, Moon Explodes and Sun Explodes. They're going to be buffing themselves at the back, and then they'll jump in. We've got the Water Mages. We're going to put Resist Cold on everyone. And then Liquid Body, which is a lingering spell. So it should affect everyone in the square with them, which is something. And then they're going to drop some Greater Rusts. This is a big AoE Rust spell, which might help against those Centaur guys. Who I think we've looked at in the past and they weren't wearing magic armor, right? Or something like that. Those guys will just sit on this fort and then probably just move over. It's just to make sure that nothing can get out of it easily. While that's happening, we're going to hit these provinces with some rituals. I'm just going to try out some of the rituals. We've got Send Springhawks. We've got Send, what is it, Cave Drakes? Yep. Send Algae Men. Raise Mannequins. So these are just going to variously hit these kind of middle provinces. There's even a weird one in here which is like Clockwork Soldier Attack. So this is an assassination spell that tries to assassinate a commander with just a Clockwork Horror. I'm not sure how effective that's going to be, but I'm going to cast it on Dothian as well, I think. No, Arco. It's getting cast at Arco. We'll see how good that is. And we also have our final big Sultan, which is of course Earth Explodes. He's going to jump into Misty Forest, so he'll take this one. We should hopefully turn most of these intervening provinces independent, and then also take this. And put both of these under siege. And then knock over this fort in one turn. That's the plan. It's a very weak fortress. While that's happening, the other province I'm kind of worried about is this one. I'm not sure where Atlantis Woods move into if he attacked. My thrones aren't around here, but my cap is. So I'm not sure where he'd go, but the one province we do have stuff in is Trollland, so I'm moving a bunch of stuff over here. They're mostly scripted to do lightning bolts, and the Amazons are doing Unending Chain Lightning. Unending Chain Lightning should be pretty good for armies. And the one golem that we saw only has 5 shock resist as well. Because he's got elemental armor and an iron face. That gives him a net shock resistance of 5. So I'm hoping lightning spells might be pretty good. I've also got an earth guy on the way over who's going to spam shatter, which will also be good against golems, I think. And then I've got a big astral mage here who's been given a bunch of astral boosters and the rune smasher we got a while back, +2 penetration. He's teleporting over, and he will be spamming improved opposition, which will also be pretty good against the golem. In fact, it will be instantly fatal for the golem, but yeah, that's pretty good, right? That's assuming that anything actually moves into this province. Probably more likely that it attacks into a province that doesn't have stuff in it, but whatever, this is the one we're in. And that's it for this turn. Hopefully this all goes well. That was turn 52. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next turn. Hello, welcome back. Lots of spells as usual. We also got some research done in thaumaturgy, up to 6. We can do knowledge of the birds now. I'm going to keep going for 7. We got improved chatter at 7. The video for the earth spells just went up, and someone pointed out when I looked at this spell, it doesn't mention anything about only hitting living units or whatever, and I just assumed that would be included in the spec value. But someone pointed out it's not. Chatter's effect is just not effect 2. Effect 2 is just damage. So this spell is just wrong. So this isn't anything like Shatter, it's literally just 40 points of armor negating magic damage that hits everything, whether you're living or a construct. So this is also an AoE 3 version, so this is just an AoE 3 gigantic armor negating damage spell. So it's really good. So yeah, if we can cast that, it would be quite dangerous as well, I suppose, because it will also hit our own units. But yeah, that seems like a good one. We can kind of get to Earthfall with a couple of our little casters that we've got. And it'd be easier if we communion them as well. But it's always an option. So we'll get 7, and I think we'll go back into vacation for a bit then. I did lots of site searching. Dark Knowledge we cast on the throne. It does have a death disease site. It's Well of Pestilence. Makes sense. We also did Voice of Tiamat and found a smouldering starfish colony in the lake, which is 1 fire gem. Also did lots of remote ritual summons. They're all successful. I won't bother watching them. You can just say mannequins beats a Minotaur Lord and some barbs. That's pretty impressive. Mike Marsh, Algeman just wiped the floor with a single point of Province Defense. Pretty good. Deadlands, 10 Cave Drakes beats some Maenad, Slingers, Dryad, and Minotaur Lord. And Wolvermori, a couple of Springhawks beats 1 point of... Oh, that's not 1 point. I thought it was. I guess it's 5 points. Yeah. So, all pretty good. And we also did an assassination spell somewhere. Where is that one? Oh right, it's up at the top, isn't it? Yeah. We did Clockwork Soldier attack as well. How do you think this one goes? Clockwork Soldier versus a Dryad. Place your bets now. Hands Bless, just to remind ourselves. Precision, Shock Resist, Fire Resist, and Regen. It is Summoning Vineman. Yeah. Not the greatest assassination spell in the world. We gave it a shot though. We also saw what I assume is AI Earth throwing some Living Mercuries at Saramatia. At Ermor and Saramatia. And then a bunch of real battles. Ermor clearing up independence. Battling Gold Coast. I'll just very quickly look at these. There's not much province events here, but this is a nice big army, which is always cool. Attacking not much, just PD on the Throne Fort. The guy playing Atlantis has a scout in this province and watched this battle. And he said he can't watch it because it lags his computer too much. It's pretty laggy on mine. I think it's just because of all the glamour of the mirror images, I'm not sure though. But yeah. So God Coast is under siege, that went okay. We saw Niflheim doing a scout at Pan. Got Dothian, more of the same. We actually lost a Hydromance from this one, which is kind of weird. It's one of those things where, like, on the layout, all my mages are in a block in the middle of the units, and so you expect them to be surrounded, but they're absolutely not surrounded at all. So the harpies fly in and just kill one of the mages, unfortunately. So that was Dothian. They are in the middle, right? Yeah, they're set up like this. Just very misleading when you see like the big square arranged around everything like that. And finally Misty Forest, so we had the big Sultan. It's kind of an awkward one. But he's casting low fatigue spells, but his fatigue just didn't, like, massively explodes. He's on 8 encumbrance, which is fair enough. The Cold Warning does 20, which is how much that spell costs. And then he does Blessing, which is 0 fatigue, but it gives him 13, which is excessive. Then he does Rock Skin. He's on 67 now, that puts him up to 21 prot, which is nice. But Quicken Self then puts him all the way to 102 fatigue, which is... None of these spells are that costly, they're all about 20 fatigue, and Blessing is 0 fatigue, so... I wouldn't have expected him to go over 100 that quickly. But he does. So we'll have to be careful with that script, I suppose. That's Misty Forest. Events then, we got 8 Gems and 10 Nature Gems, nice. Worldwide event, alterations are still cheaper. And yeah, got a National Hero too. He's not too interesting though. Just a Flying Mage. Got nice stats, I suppose, he's Sacred. Max Age 338. Could be useful for flying around units, I suppose. Okay, so this turn, big thing is that God Coast is now open. So we're just going to storm it. Why not? Army is still scripted pretty much exactly the same. The big change now is that all of my commanders have bodyguards now. Just in case we get attacked by some kind of weird remote assassination or some seduction attempt or, you know, whatever. Other than that, it's the same. And everything else around here is just moving on to the fort now. I'm not actually trying to take this fort or anything just yet. I was just trying to keep stuff pinned in it. There's a scout going to maintain siege here, but everything else is just moving over to God Coast. And we'll rearrange the army once everything's here, and then we'll just start marching towards this throne, I think. All the provinces that just got turned neutral have scouts in them, so they're all just going to attack and try and take these provinces now since they're all empty. There's a scout attacking here, and all these three. And the big Sultan is just going to fly over to Druidland next. We'll attack that. If he moves a little stack of trash out of here into Druid's Land, I think the Sultan kills them all. More likely he goes this direction though. I'm not sure. But while we're doing that, we're also doing a second round of ritual attacks. So we've got 10 Cave Drakes at Star Peaks, which is this one. We've got 10 Cave Drakes at Peskin, which is this one. We've got Send Algemen at Black Alps, which is this one. And we've got Raise Mannequins at Enwood, which is this one. So we're attacking another 4 provinces, plus attacking this one with the Sultan. So we'll just keep doing that, we'll just keep pushing in with scouts and rituals. Although this turn we can expect some sort of counter-attack from Pan, so we'll have to be a bit careful probably. Also got my mage here who's freed up now, who's also doing Raise Mannequins at Range of Light. Is this one down here. That's how the war over here is progressing. I think storming should go fine and we'll just take the throne next turn. We do have a bishop fish here. And my prophet is over here with flying shoes somewhere. Let's go. Down to 5 hit points in all this enemy dominion. Hopefully he's okay. While that's happening, I've got a nun going underwater, in case you want to put up a temple here. We're still moving nuns into Morn. This is the Well of Pestilence. And still moving stuff into Trollland. This is all getting scripted like this. We've got 2 Shattercasters, a bunch of unending Chain Lightning spammers. We're still like summoning units here. I saw Amor post in the public Discord, like, he posted, Ubar now has more units than Pan. So yeah, we have quite well defended thrones. It says 317 units in the garrison, plus a bunch of stuff on commanders. This one's up to 338, plus stuff on commanders. This one's the smallest, 255. But it is a disease site. And this throne is 324. Not too bad. We'll keep filling the thrones up with trash so that people feel a bit more cautious about trying to take them off us. Yeah. If we take this round and it all goes well, we just need 2 more thrones after that to win. So fingers crossed there's no more problems. I don't think anything else too interesting is happening this turn. We are continuing to blood hunt now in Mountains of Evernight. We've almost got 4 blood hunters. And they're not really catching that many slaves. We got 15 from 2 this turn. Maybe we'll get 30 from 4, which I think is what I said I'd hope to get. We can start using some blood rituals every couple of turns, if they're useful. And that's it for the turn. So that was turn 53. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hello, welcome back. There are tons of spells and tons of rituals and tons of battles this turn, so I'm just going to look at the stuff that's most interesting. So we got the ritual phase. The big one was that we got hit by rituals on our armies. God Coast was one. Got hit by a bunch of Chaos Drakes. They did basically nothing, but I remembered why I can't just arbitrarily overlap my army. And it's because the Camel Riders don't have heat resistance, which means they got killed by the heat aura on the Ifrit. I forgot. So we've now relearned that for like the 2nd time this series. We lost 22 camels to our own heat aura. But besides that, the ritual bounced off us, so that's fine. And Dothian was the other one. This hit my other army. Just a couple of Bellymoor horrors hitting the little army that was sat on the other fort. That wasn't actually, I wasn't actually trying to take this. That bounced off that. The rest aren't too interesting. We hit a lot of Pangaia's provinces with rituals, but most of these bounced off as well. This one won. The rest kind of bounced off. So there aren't really many province changes this turn. I think we only successfully hit 2. And then as for battles, lots of battles. So let's start in Deadlands. Most of these are just me trying to cap provinces with scouts. Such as, oh god, camera please. Such as this one. But in Deadlands we got to see there is a little army moving through here. It's just Maenads for the commander. But it's an important one to know. There's stuff in Deadlands. And the other important one was Wolverine, which again we tried to cap with a scout. But there's units moving through it now. This one's a bit more substantial. Maenads, Earth Elementals, Werewolves, and some White Centaur. So Wolverine and Deadlands are the important ones. That's Deadlands here, and Wolverine here. And we can also see what's in Arco at the moment, which is a gigantic stack. It looks like lots of Centaur, who are going to be the scariest unit in Pan's armies, I think. So is there a key to hide arrows, I wonder? 2. Let's try that. Okay. Oh, that also hides armies. But there's the state of the world. You can see which provinces have exchanged. We held on to these, which is nice, but lost this one. And our big guy attacked into Druidland. None of the other battles are too interesting. We did attack a fort. So we'll watch that one. But the fort was relatively empty. The important thing was that we saw that Pan used Melancholia this turn. This province is Sloth Scales, lost some dominion. But also, all units in the province must make an MR check versus 10 and a morale check versus 10. And if they fail both, they desert. So 2 of our mages in this province deserted us, unfortunately. Other than that, though, I'll just turbo through this. Clean up pretty easily. Again, trolls also do not like standing next to the heat aura, guys. I've fixed all that though. So I wonder if we should be using Melancholia on these big stacks of Maenads. But I suppose on the other hand, you can probably just kill big stacks of Maenads, so it's not a big deal. Maybe this army would be a good one for Melancholia. Try and get some of those guys to desert. There is a Melancholia message somewhere. Let's see. This one. 17 of our soldiers have deserted. And among the deserters were Kazim the Kahin. I think there's a better message that tells you mages though. This one. Rashid the human Sahir disappeared, and Ibura the Hydromancer disappeared. I think that's it for interesting battles though. You can see lots of cross swords where we just tried to hit things with rituals or scout cap provinces. And we also saw a bit of aggression from AI Niflheim as well. So, well, this one's a scout. But you get the idea. Nifl also attacked this throne, which I thought was interesting, so we get to see what's here. So he's attacking it with some ghouls and deers and stuff. There are some death mages here who do the big cold spell. This thing. See if we can see it. That one. Which is kind of scary. And Nifl bounces off that throne as well. I think that's everything. Cured some diseases. Events were a bunch of gems and plus Dominion in the Stingy Forest. So there wasn't much of a counterattack from Pan yet, other than the Melancholy on the throne. But he does have a huge amount of units here, and we know we trapped quite a lot of units in this fort as well. But our goal is just to get to this throne next, and also to fortify this throne. So for now, I'm not going to claim this just yet, until I feel like we can actually hold it. For now, I'm going to try and push back some of these other armies. And the first thing I'm going to do is just move everything to Dothian. We might storm it, we might not, I don't know. The army's now arranged like this. Anything with a heat aura is now up here. Slightly away from my mages and trolls and camels and stuff. And I've got the three big guys in this battle. So Earth Explodes, Moon Explodes, and Sun Explodes are all here. So they'll be chopping people up in the battle too. It's mostly cave grubs, camels, Witch's May, and Ifrit and Jinn. We're doing pretty usual spells. One slight change is that I've now got this guy here doing the battlefield version of Phoenix Power, just to make sure everyone gets hit by it. And another change is I have one of our Sultans casting a slightly different spell as well. This guy here. Sonic the Hedgehog is real. He's casting Prison of Fire on turn 2. This is an AoE 40 spell that traps enemies in prisons of fire. Trying to escape requires a morale check versus 21, and failure means you take fire damage. So that'd been quite nice. We'll lay down a Prison of Fire. We've also got a bunch of Astral Mages now doing Army of Fog on turn 1 to give everyone Mist Form. And then some Chain Lightnings. I don't do too many of these because I don't want to start hitting my own units when they fly in. We do a few Chain Lightnings and then we switch to Improved Power of the Spheres and then Stellar Cascades with the Confusion. Other than that, the army is pretty much the same as last time. Now that we're guaranteed the F2 on everyone, some guys are just set to spam Flame Cloud. They'll start casting it when they can. Stuff like that. So that's all moving on to Dothian. We'll see what happens from there on. I think he might try to break siege this turn to get rid of the scout with just a small group. But he might move a bunch of stuff from here over as well. Who knows what he'll do. He has lots of like junk everywhere, so he could just push into me quite aggressively. For now, I'm just going to unite on Dothian. And while I'm doing that, I'm trying to move mages over to sit in this fort to start summoning stuff. So a new Sultan we've got here, going to fly over and start doing Zmei and things. We've got a Spur Nature Mage here, it's going to start slowly sneaking over, start summoning Vinemen. Once we start summoning stuff in this fort, I'll claim the throne. And then if we're going to claim that one, we might as well claim this one as well. Because we do have the Bishopfish still just sat here. And claim those thrones whenever we want. The other thing I'd like to do still is get a lab set up in this province with the statue of the Sitting God. So if we manage to kind of make this region a bit safer, we'll do that. And this will be the next province we start blood hunting as well, I think. So we'll set up a bunch of blood hunters and patrollers here, and then move the Kokithiad over, and start doing the Long Dead Archer spell every turn. And this army, this province will just then kind of explode with units, which would be quite nice. And it'll give us a nice little unit factories to start bolstering these armies if we're pushing into Pan. But all we really want to do after that is push over towards this throne. This throne, I guess. Maybe this throne. Something around here. This one's going to be the next target if we can do it. Research currently looks like this. And that's it for this turn. That was 1054. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.